Hey everyone, just want to give an update. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. Just want a portfolio update of where I'm currently at and what I'm invested in and my largest holdings and what my investment thesis is. We're about to be, it's May 27th, 2025. We're about to be in June. This is what I'm invested in right now. Now, my strategy has been to invest long term, but also in companies where I think I could fall back on long term a few years from now, but I want them to appreciate sooner, the next 12 months, 24 months, 5 years is my backup plan. So that's kind of how, because we don't want to wait forever to get rich or get money. So we always want to not make stupid decisions by having lower conviction, high risk type companies. At least that's how I have my portfolio set up, where if these companies fail in the next 12 months, I feel like I'm safe in the next 5 years, where I could just sit back and wait, where I'm not going to sell these stocks. So let me start off with what first led me to create this video in the first place a couple weeks ago. Now, these are my top three holdings: Nvidia, Amazon, AMD. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, these are my top three holdings here. Now, this came on the screen of CNBC when the United States had a trade deal with Saudi Arabia, propelled these stocks higher. And my initial reaction was we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of this. This is the theme. I'm very confident. I'm writing these stocks out. And as we speak now, Nvidia has its earnings tomorrow. Now, maybe if the stock does go down after earnings tomorrow, maybe it's a buying opportunity. We'll see. But either way, either it shoots up tomorrow or shoots up 12 months from now. I'm very confident in this stock and Amazon, AMD, the next 12 months, in the next few years. So I do plan on taking a lot of profits in Nvidia, like I have last summer, and because it's such a large part of my portfolio. But I think they're going to have, for sure. I think the stock will go towards $200. It's at about 135 right now, and then I'll start looking into taking some major profits. But I think we're going to have at least one full bull market going forward with this name alone, and it's going to propel stocks like AMD, AWS, the whole tech sector going forward with it. It's going to bring it with it. So, with this said, I think it's very important to see what this trade deal is, because now what we're seeing here is Nvidia is being used as a bargaining tool with countries. So we went from companies to countries, and countries have a lot more cash, a lot more power and money than individual companies. So we can't get any bigger than countries at this point. When we get to that stage, I think we're just in the beginning of that, what we see Saudi Arabia now. I think the bear case right now with Nvidia and a lot of companies is China. They will say, okay, we're uncertain about the trade war, we're uncertain about that whole market. Maybe that creates some sort of short-term pullback. However, I think that there's so many other companies, so many other countries that will step in and buy whatever Nvidia can create. I think I saw a statistic not too long ago that the demand was about 15 to 1 versus the demand, how much they could manufacture the GPUs versus how many companies are willing to buy the latest GPUs. They have a lot of other levers. I don't want to get to it here in this video, but my whole thesis is I still think AI, the infrastructure, is going to be a surprise to the upside. Like I think it has been recently in the past couple months, but it will continue this. And so Amazon's my number two position, just because I think this is just easy money. Their core business is still going strong. It's not under threat, and it's the leader in edge computing. Microsoft number two, Google probably number three. It's the leader of edge computing. Is the leader of the cloud services. That's going to continue to propel going forward. And AMD, because there's so much of a demand of GPUs, and they are a quality company. Usually, I don't like to invest in number two companies and products, but because the demand is so high for GPUs, and it's also number one for CPUs, and we're going to need more and more of this. It's my number three position at the moment, and I'm really gambling on this sector here. So now I want to next talk about how I was kind of hesitant a few months ago with quantum computing before I can understand it, because I wasn't sure if we would even need GPUs based on what was going on in quantum computing. what gave me a lot of confidence was, and I tried finding the clip, was the D-Wave CEO came on CNBC and talked about how the computers that they're using for quantum as a service, they were using NVIDIA's GPUs to run that. I said, wow, interesting. So maybe we're years away from what quantum computing can do. But however, to get to that point in the short term, that's going to be a drive and force of revenue for NVIDIA, any success with quantum computing, because it's going to need NVIDIA for the research here. So what I did was I highlighted a couple articles here that some of the CEOs they said about this. And so this one was from a research firm with about NVIDIA's GPUs and quantum computing, how it relates. So this says, rather than manual collaboration, speeds up with the lengthy preparation process of the quantum computing system, also focuses on speed. AWS and NVIDIA announced last week that they are joining forces to bring NVIDIA CUDA-Q, it's an open source quantum development environment, to Amazon Braket. GPU-based simulations Braket have demonstrated up to 350 times speed improvements over CPU-based simulations, enabling more efficient testing of quantum circuits. So, if you're not familiar with Amazon Braket, what it is it has a cloud platform for quantum as a service for all the quantum companies to use, and they are currently using Amazon's services, cloud services, with their hybrid format with researching for the quantum computers. And this is very important, NVIDIA and also for Amazon. So this is what I want to highlight here for y'all. And this is from the AWS website. These are all the top standalone quantum companies. My strategy is not really to gamble on any individual quantum company here, rather than take the safer route, because you don't know which one will win, and just invest in the ones that are providing the infrastructure tools for the quantum companies like Amazon, like Nvidia, like AMD, and there is others, but these are just the ones that I have most highest conviction on. So another highlight, IonQ CEO, a quote that they said this, and I remember seeing this, I believe this was on probably CNBC, where the CEO of IonQ came on and said this. He said, "We use GPUs to design our chips," said the CEO of IonQ. "It's going to be a classical system sitting next to a quantum computer going back and forth. I wouldn't short any NVIDIA stock." So that's another CEO saying, to do what we do with quantum, we are using NVIDIA, and this is a hybrid model, meaning that quantum and classical computers are going to be side by side together. And so this research, as quantum computing develops, will be a huge will continue to drive demand for GPUs, and it creates safety within NVIDIA and the semiconductor computer companies that may have ripple effect from this market right now. So lastly, I just want to play one more clip what Elon Musk said about self-driving, which be another huge driver. I believe in this next 12 months. Tesla stock has been performing well off that bottom a month ago because of its advancement with self-driving, which will be run on GPUs. And I just want to play a 1-minute clip of what he had said.
Time when millions of these things are coming off of a line like we just saw with cars, they're going to be fully autonomous. They're going to come off, and the way you've described it, they're going to be able to come in my house, and I'm going to be able to say, all right, do the dishes. Now I need you to walk the dog.
Absolutely.
Hold the baby.
In fact, you really wanting me to, it'll figure out what you probably want and do what you probably want without you even having to ask.
How many GPUs are you going to need for that?
Well, quite a few GPUs. We do have our own program called Dojo for training, which I think will be helpful.
Right now it's contributing about 5% towards self-driving, right?
Yeah. So
is that the one in New York, in New York State?
Yeah, it's in New York. So we expect to still buy a lot of GPUs from NVIDIA, some from AMD, and maybe from others. And as long as NVIDIA is better than what we make, we'll keep buying from NVIDIA.
Is that the case right now?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're obviously buying them for XAI, in Memphis.
Big time.
Big time, right?
Yeah, XAI is building the most powerful. Well, we have the most powerful. I think we have the most powerful training cluster in the world right now, which is over 200,000 GPUs training coherently.
You're at 200,000 already now.
Yes.
There in Memphis, that facility that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And where are you going?
And we'll be at the million GPU level in a location just near Memphis.
Wait, a million GPUs for a new location, or 800,000 additional GPUs?
A million of the next generation GPUs.
So Blackwell.
Well, yeah.
So there you have it. I mean, what more needs to be said? XAI, self-driving with Tesla. There's so many ways that NVIDIA, I believe, demand will continue. It'll surprise. Maybe it can, it may not in the next couple months, but I think eventually it does. This trade continues, and that's the way I'm structuring things. So hopefully it helps. Maybe I should make more of these videos, and take care.